last week that there would be a way that individuals actually could register for the program, and that would be forthcoming. However, we are beginning to make a list because we needed to know where the people were. We don't want vaccines sitting on the shelf. So we have started making lists of individuals and making categories of when they would come. And as of right now, we're going to notify folks. But more to come on that one, Commissioner Cobb.
Anyone else? Mr. McGill?
I know at this point for healthcare workers, it's not a mandatory thing. How is the response? Are they, we read some things nationally that it's about 50-50. So how does it look?
I think that's being generous.
He asked what the percentage of healthcare were receiving the vaccine. And Terry says it's roughly close to 50%. Dr. Duncan says, give or take, 50%. Anyone else?
What kind of reaction have occurred when what happens?
So, pain in the arm, so far it's been what we would expect, the normal reactions. We have not had adverse reactions. The pain in the arm seems to be the main one right now, and it seems to be a little more than if it were the flu. Very similar to what the shingles vaccine would be. We have had a couple that reported being cold, not necessarily chills, but just being cold. But today, nothing major.
I was going to make a statement. My staff and I, the hospital called us last week, and we went and got ours Thursday. I talked to my girls about it. I was going to wait, months and blah, blah, blah. So I'd go ahead and get it over with, but for my elderly patients. But if I didn't have it, I wouldn't even know I had it. In other words, we had the Pfizer, guy did a little shot in the arm, barely even felt it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get pain in the arm, thankfully. My girls didn't either. There were 3 girls, but so we had a good response. But I know everybody, I've read the material like you have, Karen. Everybody has different responses, I guess, based on allergies and whatnot. But it's hopefully go well too.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, ma'am. So item 9 is advisory board appointments for January the 19th. That's Bay Tree Lakes and that Lisbon Fire District. So contact those people and see if we can get those advisory boards filled. So at this time I turn it over to the County Manager, Greg Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, folks. I'd like to review the calendar with you for the month of January and February. Point out tomorrow morning from 8 until 9, the Association of County Commissioners is hosting a virtual coffee hour for county commissioners, and that would be for any commissioners, particularly new ones. You would benefit and have the opportunity to gain exposure to that organization, and I certainly encourage you to do that. On Thursday, the 7th at 12 noon, the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council will have its monthly virtual meeting. On Monday, the 11th at 5 p.m., the Health and Human Services Advisory Board will meet, and that will be a virtual meeting. Offices will be closed in observance of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday on the 18th. The board meets on Tuesday, the 19th at 6:30 p.m. Moving over to February, on Monday, the 1st at 8 a.m., there's a prayer service here in the Superior Courtroom. The board meets that evening at 6:30. The JCPC virtual meeting will be held on Thursday, the 4th at noon. The Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meets on the 8th at 5 p.m. On Wednesday, the 10th at 9 a.m. There's a board planning session. Again, we're still trying to determine that location or secure that location. And then the board meets on Monday, the 15th at 6:30.
Mr. Martin, if I may, on the board planning session, if anyone's got anything they want discussed, I need to get with Mr. Martin myself so we can get it in there, because we're not going to add to the agenda once we get there now.
As soon as we have that on the agenda, we'll send it out.
Because it should be pretty packed, but there's something you want to talk about or discuss, let's do it ahead of time so we can get it on there and make time for it, okay? Okay. Thanks, sir.
Moving to item B, discussed briefly at our last meeting about the emergency paid sick leave and the fact that the federal funding for that expired at the end of December. We have a proposal here that would extend that through June 30th. If the board is so inclined to do so. That would be for folks who are sick, have meet the certain criteria that is listed on the form. And again, that would provide up to 2 weeks of paid sick leave if they have not already used the COVID leave. And so, just wanted to, again, I think I mentioned it in the last meeting, for the vast majority of positions, the funds are already budgeted, and if they don't have to be backfilled, it really would be a direct expense, additional expense.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the
Motion by Mr. Britt, second by Mr. McGill. Any discussion?
I got a couple questions. Mr. Martin, it mentioned here that on a one-time basis,
Yes, sir.
if an employee uses 40 hours, say to get the disease and go out 40 hours, and he comes back to work, so he or she would lose the other 40 hours. Is that right?
That's the way it was understood to begin with, but I think that's changed. That was the way it was originally addressed. It was a one-time, you were out and then you were only out for 3 days. That was the full extent of your leave. But they changed that earlier. That was, remember how things have evolved?
Yeah, I mean, you're not losing time. I mean, it's.
I know, it's just additional time that the federal government was paying for.
So you only.
This would be, the way I understand, or my thought on this is, it would be up to 80 hours between now and June 30th. So it may be, you have to be out to have testing done or whatever, and you're out for 3 days, and you come back and you're okay. But then a month later, another scenario may arise and you have to be out again. If you still have a balance of 7 days or whatever, then.
So that, okay, the balance, everybody's guaranteed at
That's
least.
that's my understanding of it, yeah.
Okay, when I first read this, I thought, if you didn't use the whole 80 hours, you just lose the rest of it. But
That's the way the federal government explained it. NC Pro explained it to begin with, early last spring. Right.
You're not losing it.
I mean, you used it, you used 3 days, if that was the extent of it, then that was your.
Well, you didn't lose it. I mean, it's subsidized your pay. You're not losing nothing. It's extra.
No, I know,
It's
but I mean,
extra.
if you got sick a month later, you wouldn't be eligible.
Oh, yeah, but you're not losing nothing.
But what I'm saying though, if you get sick a month later, then you wouldn't be eligible for this.
You wouldn't have been originally about 9 months, back in April when it first began.
But are we saying now that
But we're saying now we are. That's evolved, that's changed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mark,
Yes.
on the second page, the employees are eligible on a one-time basis.
That's what I was referring to.
Okay, and let me clarify, it may need to be tweaked. The way I'm understanding it, it's a one-time 80-hour deal. So you couldn't use 2 weeks now, and then 2 months from now, use another 2 weeks. It's a maximum of 80 hours.
Maybe you need to change that one
Which
time
item
to
are you on?
on the duration.
Duration / compensation.
Okay.
It says it's a one-time 80 hours.
Right.
Well, maybe
One-time 80 hours.
Okay.
why don't we specify one time 80 hours?
Dr. Mundars?
But if they, let's say that there was an issue and that the employee got COVID, somebody else in there working. Or now just let them go work from home while they wait and isolate.
Because they work from
If their
home.
position allows them to do that.
If their position allows them, yes.
Now, so, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
so what you're saying then, instead of saying one-time basis, we should use another acronym there?
What I think he said, Mr. Bullock, is there's a one-time 80 hours.
Well, maybe we need to put that in there, because when you read this, it looks like if you just use 40 hours, you lose the other 40.
Yeah, that's not we'll try to make that crystal clear.
Okay. Any more discussion?
And then also, under the fourth bullet, under the general rules, the fourth bullet talks about, in a timely manner, they should return the information back to the human resource. I think we should be more specific with the timely because, you know, an employee might think they could do it and return it in 2 weeks, and maybe we're talking about having it returned in a week. I think we need to be more specific there. The fourth bullet.
Okay.
Well, we don't put deadlines there, they might not be able to meet, and then they not gonna get anything.
Human resources shaking their head, you might ask for that machine.
Greg, you wanna work on those?
Yeah, I hate to say, I don't know a time.
Is it
I need to
okay
talk
with the
to
board to approve it per Greg working on it? If he can't work it out, you bring it back.
And also under
Usually it's 10 days.
Hold a minute,
Usually.
hold on a minute.
we need to specify that though.
Okay, there's too many changes. I entertain a motion to table. So we get it right.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion to table? Mr. Brett made a motion, there's a second.
Second.
Mr. Cogdell seconded it. Any discussion? I think it'd be appropriate to table it. Let's get some of this worked out.
All right.
Okay.
See, Mr. Chairman, just if I can make, if anybody don't know,
Dr. Montgomery, you got any more comments? I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah, if you could email, let us know.
Well, yeah, and because I was looking at the rules as well. Who determines? Is it HR that tells, allow them to go home or leave?
They're probably.
Their department head, in conjunction with their department head, if they meet any one of these qualifying reasons.
It's a joint effort, Dr. Goodman goes between department heads and HR.
Okay, so let's say that, I'm just asking a question, if a person spouse was working and had contact with someone that was COVID. Now, that person, spouse has to stay home, isolate. Now, it takes reason to believe that, then that employee probably need to isolate.
That's right. If she's quarantined, she can get paid up to 80 hours.
Okay.
Okay? Mr. Martin?
Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, I
Okay.
should have stated this to begin with. This program has been in effect since April 1st, and this is the same document we've been using, so I'm not aware of any major concerns. We'll be glad to tweak it, however, but I just want to let you know, employees are already somewhat familiar with it. We paid out over $73,000 today.
Mr. Martin, we didn't read it the first time.
No, that's fine. I'm not trying to, whatever, I appreciate it.
Okay, so, Mr. Reed?
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Gillespie?
Yes.
Mr. Britt?
Yes.
Mr. Bullock?
Yes.
Dr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Hester?
Yes.
Mr. McGill?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Cogdell?
Mr. Cogdell?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you all.
Individual delegation wishing to address commissioners. Matters of interest to commissioners, I have one thing. I forgot to do it. Hold on, let me go first. So what I want to do is kind of spotlight, I know Bladen Online did it, but the Bladen County Animal Control Board held a fundraiser to benefit Dr. N.W. Midget Animal Shelter. And you know where Animal Shelter is located. But Mike Jackson is the chairman of the Animal Control Board, and he wants to thank all the supporters and the sponsors for this contest. The community came together to help raise awareness and funds for the Bladen County Animal Control Shelter. The money received will be used efficiently by animal control, rabies vaccination, food and other supplies. And the board members are Kyle Lewis, Gail Dove, Audra Brisson, Mike Jackson, Sandra Edge, Eddie Knight, and Dr. Sheila Haney. And the gold sponsors, I'm gonna take a few minutes, I hope you bear with me. Gold sponsors were Bladen Animal Control, Smithfield. Silver sponsors were Allen Brothers Hunting Preserve and the Barking Lot. Bronze sponsors were Duffy Pest Control, Fort County Electric Membership Corporation, Bladen Off-Road, Bladen Express Lube and Tire, Hester Tire, Farm Bureau, Thompson Small Engine, is that Winschools? Gifts, Ellis Robinson Electric, Affordable Auto, Dan's Golf Cart, and Trailer Sales, Cape Fear Heating and Cooling, and Johnson Law Firm, Raised Incorporated, Ferraris, America, and Sheriff Jim McVicker. And it raised over $5,000 for this contest. And Mike says he looks forward to holding the contest again next year. And they also want to extend a thank you to Bladen Online for their participation and their advertisement and stuff. And a special thank you to the Animal Control Board that sponsored a great job. So, Mr. Cardell.
Yes, the thing I want to bring up, I think that is, I haven't seen it, but I was reading some comments and some commissioners that wrote letters of thank you to the Department of Education, to the superintendent of the school system, state school superintendent, and I was thinking, the commissioners, I think we need to forward something to at least show some appreciation of the commission, board of commissioners for that $15 million. This is a tough thing. So we were one of the 5 people that received it, and I think everybody else needs to give a reply to the state superintendent, thanking them for the funds and making favor to support their education system.
Okay, Mr. Martin will prepare a letter. Any other commissioners got anything? So this time I entertain a motion to go in closed session in accordance with NCG 143-318.11 A6.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bullock made the motion, Mr. Britt, second. Any discussion? Ms. Marie?
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Gillespie?
Yes.
Mr. Britt?
Yes.
Mr. Bullock?
Yes.
Dr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Hester?
Yes.
Mr. McGill?
Yes.
Dr. Mogoins?